Hello, this is teddygaming and welcome back to another review on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the TMNT, the UK magazines, issue number 2, and again it's going to be pretty interesting, just because in this one we're just going to be reviewing the fast forward comic, and this one was interesting and something which I'm surprised the show didn't do, which, you know, I think that's going to be something which I definitely will be hearing me say a lot often during these reviews, but it's a pretty interesting story for to have to do in this issue. Okay, so first start the story off with the Turtles in the penthouse, and they're really doing their own thing and stuff like that, and they're making a big mess. So you do get to see Raph and Mikey, they're on the TV, making a big mess, eating junk food and leaving wrappers all over the place, and Soren's getting annoyed by it. And then go over to the next page and we do get to see Don and Leonardo, they're eating pizza and they basically turned like a food robot that was making good food and now it's making pizza, so it's pretty interesting for quite a few different reasons. And then after that we do get to see that Cody has basically enforced a showering rule onto the Turtles, so basically once a week the Turtles have to get showered, which I do find that to be interesting just because you don't really get to see the Turtles showering and stuff like that, and it's a little bit weird. And even to think that even like the Turtles going to the future, they'll basically like give up on those like basic hygiene type things, so I do find it really weird that they'll do that, but it is what it is. During Mikey's shower, we do get to see him get covered in oil, and that's because the water that's coming out of the sewer is being contaminated by this monster that we'll soon find out in a second. And with this bit here, I don't really have too much to really say about it, and we do get to see in the next shot all the people, like Turtles and all that, looking at the TV screen, find out what's what and all that. And I do find this to be a little bit interesting and a little bit weird, just because we do get to see the Turtles, and they're basically all against going down to the sewers to try and stop this thing. We do get to see Russ saying basically, oh yeah, that was in our home turf, and I do find it a little bit weird in a way. And we do get to see even like Leonardo that says that this is pedestrian stuff, which I don't know what to really say about that. It just seems like so not Leo, but yeah, that's interesting. But then after that we do get to see Donatello who comes up with a bright idea that basically this could be a good way for them to go home. And it's interesting just because we do get to see on the next page where all the Turtles do go down to the sewers. We do get to see a little scene where we do get to see Mark Splinter and Cody talking about this. And I find this conversation to be really interesting just because Mark Splinter doesn't actually know if there's any danger down there, which I mean, you know, why would he know that? But I do find it really interesting what he does say next, where he's saying basically he wants to like give the Turtles some closure about everything, which I do find it to be really interesting. And even with the actual story itself, with the Turtles going down to the sewers, to the homeland and stuff like that, it's really interesting that I didn't do anything like this before, so I'm really interested and really grateful that they did give us this kind of story, and I'm just so like disappointed that like the show didn't do anything like this, because this seems like the type of thing that like the show would have done, but they didn't, which I just find that really weird, but also so fascinating at the same time that they did it in here, and the story's pretty decent. So while the Turtles are down there, we do get to see them, they're going around the sewers, and not really much is really new or anything like that, and then that's when they do find that there's a like tentacle coming out of the sewers, and the Turtles start to fight it, and that's when they meet the next big villain, and that is Sludge. And yeah, I don't really have too much to really say about this character, just because it is just a tentacle squid monster, yeah. So after that, we do get to see the Turtles, they start running away just because they can't fight it, and then that's when they do get cordoned off by a dead end, and Donatello comes up with a bright idea to basically hit one of the wall bits, and it crushes the squid, but it's still alive. So the Turtles decide to get some balls from off one of the walls, and start to like skate down the like waterfall, and that leads them out to the the outdoor bit, and somehow the squid thing gets caught up in the net, and that's pretty much it for the squid. And then for the final bit, we do get to see Mark Splinter asking the Turtles what do they learn, and Turtles don't really answer too much, just go back to the old ways, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the story. So yeah, I must admit overall, this whole issue has been pretty interesting, and I do think that like the first issue, I do feel as though like there was a lot of really interesting things in this issue. I just feel as though that maybe had this issue been like a lot longer, or maybe even had the like full 20 pages that most comics do, I do think that it could have done a lot more interesting things and really developed the whole idea of the turtles going back to like basically the home stuff and all that. And I do think that's like really interesting. So with the artwork itself, I must admit again, like the artwork is really great and amazing. It really does look like the show, and it's like another one of those art styles. Basically, you can tell that it's not the art style of the show, but you can tell that it's enough like the show for it to be the show, if that makes sense. And I do think that it's like a really great art style, and again, I would really like to see this artist come back and do something. I don't know if maybe this artist is actually still alive or anything like that. I hope they are, but you never know. But the art style for this one is amazing, and yes, it's just so great. So with this story overall, I do think that there's a lot of really interesting bits in this story, and again, like I've been saying over and over again, I feel as though like there's so many good story elements in this story that I do feel as though that they basically miss a big opportunity in the show to incorporate this story into the show. And I do think that it's just so fascinating and really interesting that they've gone down this route, and it's just so interesting and fascinating, and it just, yeah, I don't know what to really say, just because I feel like I'm just going to keep repeating myself over and over again by saying that it's interesting and fascinating, but I just think that, again, it's just so interesting and fascinating, and I do think that like, there's a lot to be explored with the idea of the turtles return back to the home and stuff like that, especially when they're trapped in the future. I just think that like, there's so many possibilities and potential here with this kind of story, but yet they just can't have the time to actually explore it. And it's a shame they don't actually explore it in like future issues or stuff like that. But again, it's just so interesting, fascinating, amazing, and I'm giving this issue way too many praises, man, where it probably deserves, but again, it's just so interesting and fascinating and amazing, and oh god, I don't really know what to really say. I'm just going to keep repeating myself over and over again, but it's amazing. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this issue. Do you like this one? Do you not? Do you find this issue amazing, interesting, and fascinating like I did? Do you also like the idea of turtles going back to the homeland and stuff like that, and also exploring like that element of the like story which they never did in the show? Yeah, I'm just quite interested to hear about it all. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you're awesome, please share, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.